Hey, what do you want to eat? As soon as we sat down at a fancy steakhouse, I asked my daughter. I'm Susan Clark, 37 years old. I have a 10-year-old daughter. That day, we were there to enjoy a special dinner. Without hesitation, my daughter firmly answered, "Beef intestines." I could see her eyes sparkle with excitement. Beef intestines are her favorite, and she almost always orders them whenever we come to a steakhouse. Normally, I would choose my favorite dish, but that day was a bit different. I had started dieting and was conscious about calories, so I ended up ordering beef intestines, following my daughter's choice. As a result, our table was filled with various types of beef intestines. While we were enjoying our meal, I heard someone from the next table say,
"What's that? That's crazy."
When I looked over, a man and a woman, who appeared to be a couple, were glancing at us and whispering. They both were dressed in suits and looked like business people.
All beef intestines.
An obsession with innards, isn't that a bit much? Their words clearly reached my ears. Indeed, having a table filled with beef intestines might not be common and could seem odd. I understood that, but was still a bit annoyed by their comments. We were enjoying our special time in our way. It's one thing to have an opinion about what others order, but openly commenting on it seemed off to me. The couple's voices grew louder.
They must be broke. That's why they can only afford cheap stuff like beef intestines. Poor things.
They continued with their thoughtless remarks. I'm glad I wasn't born into a poor family like that.
Yeah, right. They've probably never eaten beef before. If that kid ate beef, she'd probably faint, saying, "What? There's something this delicious."
That's funny. Hey, should we give them a slice of ribeye as charity?
Forget it, forget it. If you do something like that for poor people, they'll cling to you for life.
That's true. They might follow us home saying, "Give me the beef." Their words weren't just jokes or banter. They were clearly meant to insult us. It was infuriating that, without knowing the truth, they assumed we chose beef intestines only because of financial reasons, even though we simply preferred it. At that moment, my daughter suggested in a timid voice, "Mom, should we order something else too?" Her expression changed, and her sad eyes seemed on the verge of tears, clearly hurt by the couple's words. Their careless remarks had made her feel like we should order other kinds of meat as well. I couldn't let this go any further. I felt I had to say something, for my daughter's sake.
They must be trying hard, coming to a fancy steakhouse like this despite being poor.
Trying to have a memorable time, huh?
If you can eat high-end meat, there's no point.
They added more to their mockery. I took a deep breath, stood up quietly, and approached their table. "Excuse me," I interrupted their conversation. The two looked at me with smirks, as if saying,
"Here comes the poor person. Yes, what is it? Oh, do you want some beef?"
they said, bursting into laughter. It was truly infuriating. "You know, you've been really rude. We're eating beef intestines because we like it. It's not because we can't afford anything else." They looked and smirked at each other as I said that.
"Ah, I see. It's not that you can't eat other things. It's just all beef intestines today."
So it just happens to be an awful day, huh? Normally, there isn't a single day like that.
Yo, I've never had a day like that either. You don't need to lie about being broke. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly, just be honest. There's nothing more shameful than a poor person pretending to be tough. They seemed to think I was lying. Hearing their words, I felt a deep anger welling up inside me. I really do like offal, that's why I'm eating it, I responded, but they became even more provocative.
Persistent, aren't you? A poor person with high pride is the worst.
Really, it's sad for the child being raised by such a parent. No class and lying too. Well, it can't be helped if you're poor. I countered their disrespectful attitude. You know, enough is enough. I had reached my limit with their constant sarcasm. All you do is talk like that. Who's really lacking in class here? Looking down on people and hurting a child, aren't you embarrassed?
Embarrassed? The only ones who should be embarrassed are you. Coming to a fancy steakhouse despite being poor. This place isn't meant for poor people like you.
That's right. It's a nuisance having poor people who don't know their place here. This place is for those of us who work at top companies. Top companies?
Yes, that bank across the street. Even a poor person like you must have heard of it.
Indeed, there was a well-known bank across from this restaurant, which I also use. Not only have I heard of it, but I also have an account there. Then, thinking of how to retaliate against their vulgar attitude, I said, "So you work at that bank, right? Then that makes me a customer. Is it really okay for you to act like this?" Upon hearing this, the two burst out laughing crudely.
You think having an account makes you our equal. You're just a customer. We are the bank employees.
How clueless can you be? Even if someone like you has an account, to the bank, you're as good as trash. Did you think we would have to bow down because you're a customer? You're the same to us whether you're here or not.
Let me teach you something. This isn't a place for people like you. It's for those who graduated from prestigious universities, work at top companies, and earn money that ordinary people can't even dream of. Only they can afford to come here.
Yo, just having poor people around makes the meat taste worse. You're an eyesore.
People like you should just stick to eating sausages bought from the supermarket. Dirty poor families, get out of here now.
Drenched in their insults, my daughter, who had witnessed this entire ordeal, was visibly frightened and looked like she was about to cry. I couldn't let my daughter hear any more of their rude words. Protecting her heart was my top priority at that moment. Fine. We'll go somewhere else. As I said this, the two smirked and started laughing.
Finally realized your place, have you?
From now on, make sure to eat somewhere that suits you, okay? Understand? Despite their insulting words, I ignored them. Then I grabbed my bag from our table, and upon seeing this, my daughter stood up as well. Lots of uneaten offal were still left on our table. These two found joy in looking down on others, measuring people's worth based on whether they had money or not, the lowest of values. Believing those values to be natural, they indeed deserved a painful lesson. Standing firmly in front of their table, I told them, "I'll be closing my account with your bank." Upon hearing this, they burst into laughter.
How stupid can you be? Didn't you listen?
Because you're poor, being dumb is expected. But this is just plain stupid.
We told you a customer like you to our bank is just the same.
Right. It's no problem if poor people disappear. How much is your deposit? $10,000, $20,000.
To you, that might seem like a lot of money. But to us, it's a trivial amount. Did you think we'd be scared if you closed your account? Such a naive thought for a poor person.
I had anticipated such response. That's why I could confidently say my next words. My deposit is $100 million. In fact, I am the CEO of a major IT company called Snowwood. Snowwood was a company that my husband and I started together before we were even married. At first, we struggled just to make ends meet. But then, an app my husband created hit it big. The success of that app brought our company, Snowwood, a lot of attention. And since then, we've had many successful apps, making us one of the major players in the industry. It was my husband who created the app, and you might think that he should have been the one to be the CEO. However, my husband is more passionate about technical development than management, preferring to work hands-on as an engineer. Therefore, I became the CEO, and my husband took the role of head of the tech development department, supporting our company from there. The two were silent for a moment when they heard about the $100 million deposit, but then they started to speak again.
$100 million. Did you say $100 million?
You really went for it, didn't you? Poor people are so bad at lying. You should have come up with a better lie.
Right. Someone who eats nothing but offal claiming to have $100 million. That's just too far-fetched. That's why you're poor.
Really, poor people are so naive. Talking to someone so stupid makes me feel like I'm losing brain cells.
Just go away, poor person. Never show your face in front of us again.
They said this, not believing my words. Indeed, $100 million might sound like an unrealistic number even to me, but it's the truth, so it can't be helped. That's when I decided to make a phone call right in front of them. "Hello, this is Susan Clark. Could you connect me to the branch manager, please?" The person on the other end was the branch manager of the bank where they worked. He's essentially their boss. But even during this, their sarcasm didn't stop.
Look at this woman, pretending to call the bank.
"Well, ain't you embarrassed? Who are you really talking to? Your husband?"
Considering she's his wife, he must be quite the loser too.
"Yeah, maybe he's planning to pretend to be the branch manager and pass the phone to us."
Thinking we wouldn't catch on. That's just pathetic. The last stand of a poor person, too shallow for words.
Really. There's no way we'd mistake the branch manager's voice. We're not like you." The call was then connected.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Miss Clark. How can I assist you today?
From the other end came the voice of the branch manager of the bank where they worked. "Oh, branch manager. Could you listen to this for a moment?" I said this and turned on the speakerphone. They continued their mocking attitude. "Hey, what are you doing, poor person? You think we'd be scared by that?" He's on the other end. "Which poor person did you get to act for you?"
Stop your futile struggle, poor person.
They said, laughing. After letting their words be heard, I spoke up again. "Did you hear that?"
Yes, I heard it, but what seems to be the matter?"
The branch manager's voice sounded clearly confused. "Actually, it seems these two are employees of your bank. I don't know their names, but they've been harassing me at the steakhouse across your bank. And I no longer wish to associate with a bank that employs such people.
Please wait, Miss Clark.
So I'm thinking of closing my account."
Miss Clark, please reconsider. Anything but closing your account.
Panic was evident in the branch manager's voice. "Even so, it seems your employees don't share your sentiment," I said before I kept quiet again. Their taunts continued.
Yeah, poor person, you're annoying. Go ahead and close your account."
"That's right. We'd actually prefer it if you closed your account. Just having an account from someone poor like you tarnishes our bank's image."
Exactly. Anyway, the person on the phone must be one of your poor friends, so you probably can't even close the account.
"Really? Then should we close it for you? We can go to the bank for you right now. It seems that's how it is, so I would like to proceed with the cancellation."
Miss Clark, I'll come to you right away. Please wait a moment.
The branch manager tried to hurry to address the situation. "No, I won't wait." I said this and ended the call.
What? No need to switch the call. We were ready to talk as much as needed.
"It's impossible. As soon as you switch the call, it'll be obvious it's a fake." Without saying anything to them, I took my daughter's hand and headed towards the exit. As we left, they hurled one last insult. "Don't come back, poor person." But I didn't look back. I knew the harsh reality that awaited them as a result of their actions. We got into the car and quietly made our way home. I considered going directly to the bank to proceed with the cancellation in person, but I didn't want to expose my daughter to what might happen next. Upon arriving home, I asked my daughter, "You're okay staying home alone for a bit, right?" She nodded quietly. Thinking about how much my daughter must have been hurt by the adults' insults truly pained me. I hugged her tightly. Then my phone rang, and the caller ID showed it was from the bank.
Miss Clark, where are you at the moment?
"I'm at home."
I see. Regarding the earlier incident, we would like to formally apologize and wonder if we might visit your home to do so.
Having them come to the house would defeat the purpose of bringing my daughter home. Please don't come.
Miss Clark, we really wish to apologize in person.
It sounded like the branch manager thought my refusal meant I didn't want their apology at all, and he sounded even more anxious. "Oh, that's not what I mean."
What do you mean, then?
"I'll come to you." After hanging up, I left the house immediately. Upon arriving at the bank, the branch manager was there to greet me promptly. I was led to a reception room where the two individuals from earlier were also present. The branch manager must have gone to the steakhouse to bring them back. I sat down on the sofa, and the branch manager sat opposite me. The two stood, a tense atmosphere enveloping them.
Miss Clark, I deeply apologize. Our two employees, Johnson and Jones, have been extremely rude, and for that, we are truly sorry. We are very sorry.
We are very sorry. Their demeanor had drastically changed from before. Their faces were pale, and their legs trembled slightly. Even if you apologize, do you know what the two of them said to me?
No, I'm sorry. We hadn't confirmed that part yet.
Why don't you repeat it, Mr. Johnson and Ms. Jones, was it? Can you repeat the words you said to me again here?
Well,
What was it again?
I think it was something like, eating cheap offal, that's economical of you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we said it looked delicious. Stop lying. You called us poor people. At my angry voice, the two of them jumped. Eating offal and being called poor, what kind of prejudice is that? And you insulted us, hurting my daughter in the process.
No, we didn't mean to hurt anyone.
It was supposed to be a compliment, like eating economically. There was nothing nice about it. What are these lies? You think you can deceive us now? Answer honestly.
We're sorry. We did call you poor with the intention to hurt.
Exactly. You are the worst. Even if I were poor, why shouldn't I eat offal at that restaurant? Well, because it's a high-end steakhouse. What? That's the lowest. So you judge a person's worth only by their income. That's not the value of a person at all. In fact, you, with your high incomes, are the lowest people. Aren't you? Saying things like poor people shouldn't come here as if you own the place. Aren't you ashamed?
Sorry, we got a bit carried away.
A bit? You've been mocking me and my daughter. You'll definitely pay for this. At those words, the two of them shivered.
Miss Clark, we are truly sorry, really. Hey, you two, apologize properly.
Following that, the two apologized as sincerely as they could.
We are very sorry.
We are very sorry. They apologized profoundly while beads of sweat ran down their foreheads.
Truly, we are very sorry for this incident.
Even the branch manager apologized endlessly. Enough. Lift your faces. As I said that, the three slowly stood up and returned to their places. Then the branch manager hesitantly spoke up.
So, about closing the account.
That's what he truly wanted to discuss. Closing my account would be a significant loss for the bank. Not just the two, but even the branch manager's job could be in danger.
Please reconsider.
The branch manager pleaded. That's impossible. I've already decided. At those words, the three were stunned. Then the two spoke up.
Please reconsider.
If you close your account, we don't know what kind of punishment we'll face. Those words irritated me. What?
No, it's just, we worked hard in school, got into a good university, and thanks to those efforts, we got jobs at this bank. Now we might never be promoted again.
What will our parents say? Their words were full of concern for their own positions and futures, with no real consideration for me or my daughter, or any genuine remorse for their actions. These two were truly selfish, rotten to the core. Enough. It's always about you. Please forgive us for our futures. Are you joking? That's not an apology. In the end, you just want to save yourselves, right? You don't really think you did anything wrong to me or my daughter. You think I'd forgive someone who hasn't shown any real remorse. That's why problems like this happen. I will definitely close the account because I never want to see your faces again. With that, they slumped their shoulders. Amid the heavy silence, there was a knock, and the door to the reception room opened. A man in a suit appeared. Are you Miss Clark? Yes, who might you be? I'm Smith, a department head at the main branch. I was a bit surprised at Smith's introduction. The bank must have decided this issue was too big for just the branch manager to handle. It had become a significant problem within the bank. First off, I've come here to formally apologize for this incident. Miss Clark, we are truly sorry. Smith apologized sincerely to me. It's all right, Mr. Smith. I've decided to close my account. I won't be dealing with your bank any longer. I understand your anger is justified.
We've been briefed by the branch manager about what these two did. As the main office, we see this as a serious issue and promise to take strict action against them. The mention of strict action made the two wide-eyed and distraught. Without paying them any mind, Smith continued, "Of course, that won't erase the discomfort you and your daughter have experienced. We're prepared to apologize as many times as necessary until you might forgive us." "So you're saying I should not close the account?" "No, please wait a moment." "Wait." When I asked for clarification, Smith continued, "Yes, my request is that we are given time to apologize. We want to sincerely apologize from here on, hoping to make amends in a way that you, Miss Clark, finds satisfactory. If after considering our apologies, you still find our actions unforgivable, we regretfully understand and will proceed with the cancellation of your account personally. Indeed, we have done enough to warrant such an action. We sincerely ask for your understanding and consideration." I was impressed internally, as expected from someone at his position. Given he was the department head of the main branch, he knew how to apologize skillfully. I could have said things like, "Why do I have to wait?" Or "You could apologize after I cancel the account," any words that might put him in a difficult position. However, Mr. Smith's sincere apologies made me lose any desire to say such things. This must be what a real apology feels like. I felt completely disarmed and decided, all right, in consideration of Mr. Smith's efforts, I'll withdraw the cancellation of my account. Hearing my decision to cancel the account cancellation, those two were the first to cheer. "Yes, we did it."
Hearing them, I sighed, thinking how hopeless they were. They didn't even understand that they risked making me angry again. They are truly beyond any hope. But Mr. Smith sensed my feelings and brought some good news. Their actions are also being taken seriously by our main office. We plan to discipline them accordingly. Discipline, as in, it's not official yet, but it will be a demotion. They are expected to be transferred to different regional branches. The moment they heard this, their expressions changed instantly.
Wait a minute. I thought she said the cancellation was off."
"Right. The problem was resolved, so the punishment doesn't make sense. Stop talking nonsense." Smith's shout surprised everyone, including me. With fury, he scolded them. "What you did lowers the dignity of our bank. Harassing other customers at the restaurant, spewing sarcasm. A bank is built on trust. Just having people like you who damage that trust is a huge loss to us. You think demotion is bad? Be grateful you weren't fired." At his words, they were visibly terrified. Smith's words were spot on. I felt reassured by his handling of the situation. His precise judgment and actions made me trust him, thinking this is someone I could rely on. It seemed like we could maintain a smooth relationship with the bank going forward. However, those two still seemed dissatisfied.
"We're done for. Totally finished."
"It's all because you had to mess with that lady."
"What? My fault." You were happily joining in with the sarcasm.
"I was just saying it because you did. It wasn't what I really thought."
"Lies. You're always bad-mouthing people. You have a terrible personality."
"Who's talking about bad personality?"
"I'm talking to you. Don't you understand English?"
"The one who doesn't understand English is you."
"Shut up, both of you."
I couldn't believe they started quarreling over this. I thought, let them do whatever. Later, there were apologies again from the two, the branch manager and Mr. Smith, and I was given a parting gift as I left. Remembering to give a parting gift, how meticulous, I thought as I was politely seen out. Weeks later, I visited that high-end steakhouse again with my daughter. Since our last visit was interrupted, we came back to make up for it. Knowing what she would order, I asked my daughter anyway, "What will you have?" I was surprised by her unexpected answer. "Short ribs," said my daughter, and I had to ask, "Really?" It was the first time she ordered something other than offal at this restaurant. "Are you sure you don't want offal?" "Because it's embarrassing to eat offal." Her words left me stunned, and my anger towards those two resurfaced. She must still be affected by their words. but that's a huge mistake. I cannot let such a terrible value system be instilled in my daughter. Hey, Olivia, I know what they said bothers you. It might feel a bit embarrassing, right? But if you really want to eat offal, you don't have to hold yourself back. No matter how much you're laughed at, you don't have to give up what you love. Understand? Looking up at me tentatively, she asked, "Really?" "Yes, really. Really, really. Absolutely." "So, what do you want to eat?" "Offal." She said that with a smile. Relieved, I watched her happily munching on the offal, savoring this small moment of joy in our daily lives.